Dubstar doing these days?
We've just finished rehearsals actually. We've got a tiny little show, first one in, I think it's 14 years, in London on the 15th of April, and we've been rehearsing for that. We've got an album written, all the parts are recorded. Yeah, the songs are there, the parts are recorded. It's just a case of assembling it. So it's just the last little push. Come on. It's so much harder when there's no record company behind you pushing and organising and saying you need to do this, this and this. And we're kind of doing this and then realising that we should have done something else, like, you know, before that happened. And it's just been a bit chaotic really, which is why it's taken so long.
The recording industry is in tatters. What's your opinion on how technology has changed the scene?
Don't get me started. It's a good job I haven't had a coffee, that's all I can say. I just think that nowadays, again, with people don't... Everything is it's on a news feed. It's all so fast that nothing is treasured, nothing's anticipated. You can get things at a push of a button. You don't even have to pay for it anymore. I think artists are not appreciated. I mean, just for example, we were in a rehearsal room last week, and like people were in there were bands in there from like 9 a.m. working, like, and that wouldn't have happened in the 90s. You know, the rehearsal room would have been booked, but nobody had rolled up till 2 in the afternoon and, you know, hung over from the night before. It's kind of become a job, which is a good thing because we're all more professional and we all want it and we're all hungry for it. But I do think that what you should have to pay for is copyright and songwriting. It's like, you know, people are going on about the state of the music industry like it's all shit on the radio. But it's like, if you don't support your artists, then they're not going to get anywhere. You know, the only artists that are going to be on the radio are the artists that have the big budget behind them, which is something... that's going to be lowest common denominator music, that, you know, there's nobody willing to take a risk anymore. I talk to younger musicians and they've grown up with this, so they're fine. They've never had anybody pay for their work, so they just see it as an advertisement, and I'm trying to get my head around that. I'm old-fashioned, you know. I've, you know, lived on, you know, meagre royalty payments for years, but it's just, I guess it's just a different way of thinking, and I'm old-fashioned. You know, you've got to think that you've got to find new ways of doing things. You've got to become creative in the way that you sell yourself. You've got to become creative about doing your live shows. Everything's, you know, you're more about marketing. And, you know, you just got to think out of the box to make things successful, which is hard. It's really hard, as well as having to, you know, come up with brilliant songs and innovative music. But then I guess it gives you, you know, a reason why a good artist is a good artist, because they can do all that. You want to kind of keep yourself pure and keep your vision pure, and so you don't want to think, oh, I want to sound like Licky Lee, or I want to sound like Roixop, or, you know. So you're trying not to absorb those influences. You're trying to stay true to like what you started out, and it's quite difficult. And so you listen to your classics, you listen to your Bob Dylan, you listen to your Stones, you listen, you know, and that's why, I guess. But now it's interesting as you hear young artists coming up that have never heard. I used to DJ at Queen is Dead, which was like Alan McGee's rock and roll club, and I'd be playing stuff like the Pop Stars and Magazine, and the kids would be like, "Who's this? Who's this?" I'd be like, "Well, you know, this sounds just like, you know, Radio 4 or, you know, Interpol or whatever," and you just be like, well, this is what they were influenced by. And I guess, you know, it's going to go like that. It's a chain, isn't it? It's like all these new girls being influenced by Stevie Nicks and Fleetwood Mac. So I think the Ice Queen, it's just the way that I sing. I just open my gob and out it comes, really. I'm not one of these people that will sit and practice for hours, because I believe in the moment. I don't believe it. I hate rehearsing. I remember the boys that they did Redirected Mail with Gary Numan, and they said, you know, he was sort of marking it out and like, and they were like, "Oh God, are you ready yet, Gary? Are you ready yet?" And then he turned around, faced the microphone, and there he was, Gary Numan, full-on performance. They said it was amazing, absolute amazing moment. Oh, he's awesome. He's so brilliant. I did a video with him for. I'm friends with these boys called The Officers, who are like, they're really cool, and they're great lads from York, and they're doing some really interesting music. And I guest starred in it in their video with Gary Numan.
Mm.
And, yeah, it was funny. It was the day before he moved to LA as well, so he was kind of like, whoa, all over the place. It was really nice.
I believe you visited Istanbul a number of times.
I have, yeah.
What's your feelings about the city and its people?
I love it. It's just, it's the only place I've ever been stuck in a traffic jam at 4 a.m. after a gig. It's just bonkers. It's just like the buildings are like held together with dust and straw, and then like you get these fabulous opulence, and then like these, it's just like, you know, crumbling buildings. It's amazing. All the little stray cats. We went to the neighbourhood where the hotel is, and there was just like bowls of cat food out for them all. And last night, a little cat sneaked in as we went into the dressing room, and it sneaked up the stairs. So it was like wandering around the dressing room last night, meowing and demanding attention. It was really cute. It was really nice having a little creature backstage. It was lovely.
And the Turkish people?
Oh, so friendly, so enthusiastic, and yeah. We've always had like really good, I've always enjoyed coming back to Turkey. It's brilliant. Great food as well.
What's your plans for the future?
Just see what happens. I'm too old to expect world domination now.
You've been there.
I've been there. Well, I never quite got the world domination, but I've done my fair share of rock and roll. And I just want to keep singing.
I'm just too young to be lonely. I'm just too young to be wise. And I recognize the feeling, and I'm gonna take what's mine. Me and you together, we're too good to take it slow. So it's sooner now than never. Let's get back and start the show. So come on now, baby. Just come on